Hi, I am Limart Hada, one of the fourth of BS Scream 2-1, and I will be discussed about security hazard. Any act or condition which may result in the compromise of information, loss of life, loss of destruction of property, or disruption of the objective of the installation. It is usually to describe a potentially harmful situation. Although not usually the event itself, once the incident has started, it is classified as an emergency or incident.
Hazards. Pag sinabi nating hazards, ito ay maaaring intentional o unintentional na gawain na maaaring magdulot ng isang malubhang kaganapan o pangyayari na maaaring magsanhi ito ng kapahamakan sa mga tao, sa kalikasan, at magresulta ito sa hindi ka nais-nais na sitwasyon. Katulad lamang ng pagkasira ng mga ari-arian, pagkawala ng buhay, pag-antala sa operasyon ng organisasyon, at higit sa lahat ay ang pagpapakalat ng importanteng impormasyon na maaaring ikakasira ng isang organisasyon.
Hi, I'm Dan Verdian Villar, one of the fourth of BS Scream 2-1, and I will discuss about modes of hazards. Dormant. The situation has the potential to be hazardous, but no people, property, or environment is currently affected by this.
Dormant hazard, from the word dormant, it means stable siya ngayon pero may chance na maging unstable siya in the future. So, ang example ng dormant hazard, yung hill, kunyari, stable siya ngayon pero may chance na maging unstable siya in the future at magka-landslide. Pero walang magiging casualty kasi wala namang malapit na bahay-bahay dun sa hill na to. So, walang mamamatay na tao at walang masisirang mga properties.
Potential. This is a situation where the hazard is in the position to affect persons, property, or environment.
Potential hazard, from the word potential. So, may capacity ngayon tong hazard na to na manakit ng tao at makasira ng mga properties. Example, sa hillside, may mga bahay-bahay na doon. So, kung magkakaroon ng landslide, may mga mamamatay na tao at masisira ang mga bahay.
Active. The hazard is certain to cause harm as no intervention is possible before the incident occurs.
Active hazard, from the word active, so may kakayahan na talaga siyang magdulot ng madaming casualty since walang indication kung kailan siya mangyayari. For example, itong landslide, tsaka yung lindol, kasi hindi gaya ng bagyo, pwede ma-predict kung kailan, saan, or gano'ng kalakas yung bagyo. Unlike sa landslide tsaka sa lindol. Kaya hindi natin mapaghahandaan kung mangyayari man ang mga ito.
Mitigated. A potential hazard has been identified, but actions have been taken in order to ensure it does not become an incident. This may not be an absolute guarantee of no risk, but is likely to have been undertaken to significantly reduce the danger.
Mitigated hazard, from the word mitigated. Kung ma-identify na yung hazard, imi-mitigate or i-alleviate or babawasan yung danger na dulot ng hazard na ito. For example, sa landslide. Paano ba may mitigate ang landslide? One effective way to mitigate landslide is to plant more trees kasi it creates diversion. It means, imbes na gumuho yung lupa, yung mga puno i-absorb nila yung tubig kasi yun yung nagpapalambot sa lupa that causes landslide. So, we should plant more trees to prevent landslide.
Types of hazard. Natural hazard. These are hazards which arise from the natural phenomena.
Ang susunod ay ang type of hazard. Ang unang type of hazard ay ang natural hazard. Pag sinabi nating natural hazard ay ito ay mga pangyayari na hindi kayang i-prevent by any means or any human intervention or any technologies to limit it, it cannot be prevented that way. Because itong mga ito ay mga natural phenomena which they occur naturally with no specific time frame. Nangyayari talaga ito. Itong mga hazards na ito ay maaaring magdulot ng negatibong epekto sa mga tao at sa ating kalikasan na makakapagsanhi ng malawakang pagkamatay ng mga tao, pagkasira ng ating kagubatan at pagkasira ng mga ari-arian at infrastruktura. Ang halimbawa ng hazard na ito ay ang flood caused by typhoons, earthquakes, storms, lightning storms, fire, and extreme humidity and temperature.
Human or man-made hazard. These are hazards which are result of a state of mind, attitude, weaknesses, or character traits of one or more person. They can be act of commission or omission, overt and covert, which can disrupt operation of plan or installation.
Ang susunod ay ang man-made hazard. Ito ay hazard na gawa ng tao na dala ng kanyang ugali, katauhan, pagdaramdam at kainahan. Maaari itong kaganapan na resulta ng kagagawan o kapabayaan ng tao. It is an event whether it is intentionally done by a person or caused simply by an accident from something being built. These hazards may result from the discretion and state of mind of a person whether to decide and choose to do evil or not, which may cause harm to people. Sometimes this kind of events is the result of negligence and deliberate actions of people, which may lead to devastating impacts that will cause the obstruction of the operation of installation, loss of life, and destruction of equipments. The example of these hazards are carelessness accidents and dissatisfaction, disloyalty, subversion and sabotage, espionage, pilferage and theft, and vandalism.
Industrial hazard. Workplace hazard and are often grouped into physical hazard, physical agents, chemical agents, biological agents, and psychological issues.
Ang susunod ay ang industrial hazards. It is a severe event na maaaring dulot ng mga waste materials o chemicals na narelease sa mga industries o factories na maaaring makapagbibigay ng mga lubhang sakit, problema at sakuna sa kalusugan ng mga tao at magsanhi ito ng iba't ibang environmental damages. Maaaring makapagbibigay ng kapahamakan sa mga tao dahil sa kawalan ng pag-iingat at safety precautions sa working place. At sa hazards na ito ay maaari na makapagbibigay ito ng psychological issues sa mga tao sa pamamagitan ng pagtatrabaho ng walang pahinga at maaari itong magsanhi ng hindi magandang kalusugan. Ang halimbawa ng hazards na ito ay ang physical hazards, physical agents, chemical agents, at ang psychological issues. Ang halimbawa ng physical hazards ay slips and trips, fall from height, workplace transport, dangerous machinery, electricity, at heavy metals. Ang halimbawa naman ng physical agents ay noise, vibration, and ionizing radiation. Sa chemical agents naman ay solvents at biological agents. Ang halimbawa naman ng psychological issues ay work-related stress, whose causal factors include excessive working time and overwork, violence from outside the organization, bullying, sometimes called mobbing, which may include emotional, verbal, and sexual harassment,
Sabotage. A deliberate action aimed at weakening an enemy, oppressor, or employer through subversion, obstruction, disruption, and/or destruction. When disgruntled works damage or destroy equipment or interfere with the smooth running of a workplace, It is called workplace sabotage. This can be as part of an organized group activity or the action of one or a few workers in response to personal grievances.
Ang susunod ay ang sabotage. Pag sinabi nating sabotage ay, it is a secret deliberate action caused by a person or groups to damage equipments na may layuning tuluyang sirain ang magandang takbo ng isang kumpanya at upang mapahina rin ang kanilang mga competitors. Ang pagsira sa ilang mga kagamitan at plano ng isang kumpanya na makapagsasani ng pagkaantala ng operasyon ng isang workplace ay tinatawag na workplace sabotage. Maaari rin itong gawa ng isang tao o grupo na mayroong hinanakit sa kumpanya. Ang susunod ay ang saboteur. Ito dapat ang pinaka-importanteng konsidera at bigyan diin o pansin ng security sa pagpaplano at pagpapatupad ng mga security measures, precautions at techniques. Dahil ang mga saboteurs na ito ang siyang nagbibigay pasakit sa mga organisasyon o kumpanya sa pamamagitan ng pagsira ng mga ilang kagamitan. Kung kaya't ang mga security actions or precautions na ito ay dapat natin i-apply sa ating mga kumpanya upang mabawasan ang maling gawain ng mga saboteurs. At itong mga saboteurs nito ang siyang pinakamatinding kalaban ng security na maaaring magdulot ng pagkasira ng mga kagamitan at maantala ang operasyon ng isang organisasyon at pagnakaw ng mga importanteng dokumento na maaaring ikasisira ng mga organisasyon kung ito ay napunta sa maling kamay. Saboteurs are really good at disguising. They may have looked na ordinary person lang sila passing by, pero they have gone through intensive training to hone their skills, which make it their advantage. Like good at explosives, chemicals, bacteriology, mechanics, psychology, deceptions, and others. These saboteurs may work alone or may work in groups in several places. These guys are really dangerous if they are left unattended and no specific security precautions to apply in order to stop them. The next is the possible targets of saboteur. The first is the armed forces installation. The second is the natural resources mines, forests, farms, and farm products. The third is industries, buildings, power sources, machinery, and fuels. And the fourth is the warehouses, depots, communications, and public utilities. Countermeasures against sabotage. Use of an efficient, alert, and trained guard force. We should always hire those competent guards who really excel in different skills because these guards know what to do in times of crisis, as well as these guards are well trained, so it means they know the movement of saboteurs and know the security measures to be applied if they encounter saboteurs. If your guards are slacking off and not well trained, then they may not defend the establishment. They will be outsmarted. The next is use of physical security aids like barriers, personal and vehicular control, intrusion devices, communication systems, and electric aids. We should not forget to install these equipments because these equipments helps in preventing and detecting crimes. The most important here is the personnel because they have the full access to equipments. They are the one who control these devices, so it's better to screen well your employee. Proper screening of personnel. In this part, we should do background investigation to know well the applicant and see if he or she is the best suited applicant for this job. And if we found out that he or she had a criminal case before, he or she shall not be accepted. The next is identification and movement control system. This is also important because it allows the security personnel to monitor the movement of people and identify those authorized persons to enter or leave the premises, but also to identify those unauthorized persons who try to enter. In that, we can prevent any problems that might happen inside of a business. The next is searches on incoming vehicles. This is important because it allows the personnel to check the vehicles whether they have prohibited weapons inside their cars to be used in destroying any property. Safeguarding of classified information. This is important as well because it helps to prevent stealing of information and prevent copyright infringement. The next is designation of restricted areas. In this, it should be a must to put a sign on restricted areas so people would be informed and that authorized person is the only allowed to be in there. The next is investigation of breaches of security. Breaches of security must be investigated immediately because if not, the saboteurs might get valuable information, intellectual property, and others. Security education and indoctrination. Security personnel should be educated on what security measures or precautions and technique should be applied if they face adversity while they are on duty, as well as what to do if they are in these scenarios, and also to raise awareness about security risks and promote good practices. The next is good housekeeping methods. Good housekeeping implies that a workplace is kept in an organized, uncluttered, and hazard-free condition. Good housekeeping is not just about cleanliness. It lays the basic foundation for accident and fire prevention. Effective and compatible emergency planning. This is the most important because through planning, we will be able to come up with the best solutions and as well as to talk about the movement of the intruders so that we will be able to know the security measures to be applied. The next is regular audit. This is also important because it allows to check the financial information of any entity and also to check the documents and performance of a business whether they are doing well or not. As a result of an audit, stakeholders may effectively evaluate and improve the effectiveness of risk management and control of the subject matter. Next is the continuing background checks. This is also important because we will be able to know if our employees are doing anything wrong and whether they are still complying to the rules and regulation of the business.
Espionage. The practice of gathering information about an organization or a society that is considered secret or confidential without permission of the holder of the information.
Ang espionage ay taking of confidential information from an institution or a company without them knowing it. Then, industrial espionage, ito yung pag-espiya sa katunggaling kumpanya para magamit sa advantage nila yung mga confidential information na nakuha nila sa kanilang competition. Description of an espionage agent. Well-trained and cunning. Well-trained dahil may mga alam siyang techniques para makakuha ng information sa isang tao without that person knowing na nakukuha na pala siya ng valuable information. Cunning dahil magaling sila sa art of deception, meaning kaya niyang gumawa ng kwento para makuha ang loob ng isang tao para pagkatiwalaan siya ng tao sa information na gusto niyang kunin. Some methods employed by espionage agents. Stealing of information from employees. Stealing information from records or other sources. Using various methods of reproducing documents, products, equipment, or working models. Using front as commercial concerns, travel agencies, associations, business groups, and other organizations to obtain confidential information or data. Using various form or threats to obtain information. Using blackmail techniques by exposing intimate and personal details concerning an individual or organization. Penetration and operational tactics. Countermeasures against industrial espionage. Careful and complete pre-employment measures designed to control threats of industrial espionage. Continuing personal check on employees and particularly personnel on sensitive positions even already employed. Prevention of unauthorized entry to the plant or industrial installation. Restricting of movements of personnel in the premises of the plant. Controlled disposal of waste papers including carbons in classified work. Only properly cleared personnel should handle classified documents.
Hi, I'm Gabriel Venus, one of the fourth of the base cream 2-1, and I will discuss about subversion. It refers to an attempt to overthrow structures of authority, including the state. Subversive activity is the lending of aid, comfort, and moral support to individuals, groups, or organizations that advocate the overthrow of incumbent government by forces and violence. Can be local or national in nature, and their mission is to undermine the authority, weaken the organization, and eventually take over. This can be in business or any activity. This can be in the form of rumor, mongering, propaganda undermining, moral, and injecting defeatist attitudes, and other emotional approaches. It is an activity not easy to detect.
The next is subversion. This is a secret working plan within the government by evil, ambitious person, or this is done by people who do not want how the government run the state, which these people aims to downfall the existing government by means of forces or violence. This subversive action is a plan of a series of activities which aims to influence a great number of people to protest to the government by means of harmful actions in order to force the government to change their decisions and actions just to fulfill their political objectives. Countermeasures to subversive activity. The first is the spreading of rumors, written materials, slogans, or any other devices to confuse the work population and discredit the government should be immediately reported. The second is, labor and other company unions can be infiltrated so that strikes and slowdowns can be called to disrupt the normal operation of a plant or installation. The third is, security force should be alerted for persons trying to recruit others in organizing movements for peace, anti-colonials, anti-trade, and anti-imperialism. The fourth is, employees or outside personnel seeking memberships in paper organizations should report this activity to security. And lastly, other methods of subversion like united fronts, mob action, terrorism, and sabotage will be done to gain the subversive ends.
Hi, I'm John D. Santos, one of the fourth of BS Cream 2-1, and I will discuss about pilferage. Pilferage, the act of stealing small amount or small articles, is one of the most annoying and common human hazards which security has to deal with. This activity, if uncontrolled, can become financial drain if not a menace to smooth and orderly operation. Failure to detect shortage and inaccurate inventories will cause inventory losses, which may be labeled as pilferage.
Pilferage. This is the act of taking something from someone or from a business without the consent of the owner, which these things taken has only small amount of value. How pilferage become a business hazard? It become a business hazard in such a way that an employee constantly take things in the business without the permission or consent of the owner, which this kind of action is really a serious problem because this would cause the business to lose a lot of profit for the next few months. If pilferage does not yet given any security precautions, then this will bring financial drought to the business and eventually it will affect the operation of the business. The business must do inventories time to time to see if there is pilferage or loss of products happened. If the owner does not do proper inventory, then the owner might not discover the pilferage happened and it will be still unattended and the business will suffer a great loss in their sales and profits. If the pilferer is not yet caught, it will become their habit to steal and it will turn to be a hazard in the business. In such a way, they will continue to lose products, to lose stocks, to lose sales, to lose profit, and eventually to lose the business. Common measures against pilferage: package inspection, asset inventories, body search, uses of alarms, personal ID and management control, security education, lock and key management, regular reporting, property audits, garbage and trash check before disposal, and lastly, inspections. Factors considered in pilferage. The first is location of items to be pilfered. The systematic pilferer surveys shopping and store areas or through contacts from the firms. Second, access to the items. Techniques can be from fake documents, bribing of guards, outsmarting security, creating disturbance, and other methods to divert attention while pilferage goes on. The third is removal of item. This can be done as wearing the stolen shoes or shorts, concealment in body or vehicles, use of false documents. Driver may conceal pilfered items in his vehicle. And last is disposal of items. There is a need for fences, brokers, or clearinghouses for these hot items. The next is the type of pilferer. The first type of pilferer is the casual pilferer. It is a person who purloined without any planning or forethought to do it. It just happened that he or she has a lucky chance which he cannot withstand or hold out against it. These type of pilferers do not work in groups. They steal when no one can see them. In short, they are a low-key loner stealer. And this pilferer always gives second thought as they fear of getting caught. This inclination in the pilferer which triggered them to constantly take things is due to lack of security measures. If casual pilferer will remain unattended, it will cause a great loss in the business. Countermeasures for casual pilferage. The first is spot, check on outgoing vehicles and persons. Second, an aggressive security education and indoctrination program with emphasis that crime does not play. Third, superiors should set example of integrity and desirable moral climate for employees in the establishment. Fourth, all employees must be enjoined to report or any loss to security. Fifth, inventory and control methods should be done especially to pilferable items. And lastly, control of tools, equipments, and sets. The second is the systematic pilferer. When we say systematic pilferer, it is a person who purloin things which they plan first and organize their strategies before executing their actions. This type of pilferers will get everything, whether it has a small amount or big amount, as long as it gives them economic gain. This is done by an employee or an outsider of the business. Countermeasures for systematic pilferage. Guards and electronic surveillance on all exits. Package and material control system. Parking area outside perimeter fence of establishment. Careful screening and background checks on applicants to weed out potential thieves. Investigation of all losses quickly and efficiently to determine modus operandi or obtain clues. Alert all patrols to check areas and buildings for possible concealment of stolen properties. Install mechanical, electrical, electronic detention, and alarm devices where needed and applicable. Establish an effective lock and key control system. Use of appropriate perimeter fencing and lighting for parking facilities in areas for vehicles and persons. Store bulk quantities of purporable items in closed security areas and distribute them using section-limited quantities. Establish accurate inventory and accounting methods for procurement, use, and disposal. Establish close liaison with governmental law enforcement and intelligence agencies.